missile exploded inside the fuselage. A missile which was a special made for this shooting down MH17 did not have the steel belt around the explosive which had been removed. Finland, whose army has also this missile system, is a country with high tech and could do this kind of tuning the bombs with their army, whose police forces has been led Europe's biggest drug trade from its headquarters for 40 years.
Putin is responsible. Europe will stand by Ukraine for as long as it takes, with more financial support, more military support. Russia has destroyed houses, hospitals and kindergartens, but they could not destroy the dream of a free and prosperous Ukraine. Our common goal should be very clear. We need to turbocharge our defense industrial capacity in the next 5 years. And at the heart of this must be one simple principle. Europe must spend more, Europe must spend better, and Europe must spend European. And this will help us fill the urgent need to rebuild, replenish and modernize member states' armed forces, and to keep supporting Ukraine. And in doing so, Europe should strive to develop and manufacture the next generation of battle-winning operational capabilities. I was in Bucha after it was liberated. I will never forget the body bags lined up. Innocent civilians, young women, old men, killed by Putin's soldier. Putin is wanted for war crimes, and he will face justice. And there is a courtroom in The Hague waiting for him, my friends.
Malaysian Flight 17 was supposed to be a regular scheduled flight through Ukrainian airspace, but was shot down at 13:20, near Rabov. The results of the investigation of MH17 are almost on the same level as the Ukrainian fake war, which only exist because of the money laundering of Western democratic states, where state coffers are sent empty in the name of the Ukrainian fake war. Money flows that actually goes to tax haven accounts of the democratic states' decision makers located in Cayman Islands. But this fake war of Ukraine is not a fake for all, like these passengers of Malaysian Flight 17, who had to die only because of our democratic leaders want to blame rule of law Mr. Putin and Russia for this fake war of Ukraine, so that nobody would not question about where these money flows goes, and that our democratic terrorist leaders looks good and rule of law Mr. Putin looks more war criminal. Even the truth is completely opposite, where these democratic countries machinates these airplane accident at steady pace, and why there is more than 100 airplane accidents on my criminal investigation lists, where I have only declared 3 accidents as real accidents and the rest of these are machinated by the democratic countries. There is also a European and democratic version of the Malaysian Flight 17 accident, investigations and its flight route, which is as bad as Ukrainian fake war, meaning that almost everything that is told about MH17 is a lie, hoax and scam, and what we focus under this video. If you look at the flight route of MH17, which is changed from the Polish airspace, which as a country is known for the Smolensk accident, which was a democratic way of murdering these Polish high-ranking state officials, which was against this fake war of Ukraine and the imperialistic plans and virus like a expansion of Fourth Reich of Germany and Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission, and where this killing Polish high-rank officials has been the turning point to launch this fake war. of Ukraine and annexation of Crimea, when there was no more resistance inside the fourth Reich of Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission.
Europe should strive to develop and manufacture the next generation of battle-winning operational capabilities. Let's fight for Europe. Long live Europe. Thank you.
I think this assassination of Polish high-ranked officials was a very bad move from EU-positive Donald Tusk.
Poland disposes of new evidence about Russia's involvement in Smolensk crash. This is according to Poland's defense minister Antoni Macierewicz. He claims Russian controllers and Moscow officials are behind the worst air disaster in Polish history. Warsaw is set to disclose the information in October. The minister specified that the investigative commission is about to present factual evidence, including new recordings of crew conversations, as well as shocking confessions by some members of Miller Committee, a previous investigation group which concluded its probe in 2011. The 2010 plane crash near Russia's Smolensk killed 96 people, including the president of Poland Lech Kaczynski with his wife, the former president in exile Ryszard Kaczorowski, 18 members of parliament and other high-ranking officials.
This Smolensk accident was machinated by installing radio control device alongside the yaw damper of Tupolev rudder power control unit, and just by pushing the button, Donald Tusk has sent these Polish high-ranked officials to death. This method of assassination from Donald Tusk is clearly ape from the NTSB of United States that has dropped down its own Boeing 737 airplanes so that NTSB has something to investigate, or maybe even for fun. This airplane rudder sabotage seems to be very common in these airplane assassinations, and which was used also in Exeter Flight 1526 in United States, when someone ordered the assassination of these Boca real estate executives. Exeter Flight and Smolensk crash sites that are almost identical to each other. CNN and the Dutch Investigation Board have speculated that bad weather and a storm was the reason for the change of MH17 flight route. However, this is unfounded if we look at the weather data on the routes, radar images and video footage from that day, which clearly shows that the weather in Ukraine was not bad at all, but cloudy with local rain, not to mention the wind, which was non-existent. I'm putting the weather as one of the lies of this Dutch investigation committee, because the weather was not even near what would justify or require route changes for this kind of airplane. Weather, which is only used to hide and cover the real facts of this MH17 accident, which is that it was shot down by the Ukrainian terrorist government, where this MH17 plane was guided by the air traffic control into this upcoming murder scene, where this airplane was shot down as a result of systematic planning. This means that the Dutch Investigation Commission is simply approving and sealing the systematic actions of the Ukrainian terrorist government to guide this MH17 into the territory of so-called pro-Russian separatists under these pretexts of some non-existent storm that now happens to be true only in these false reports of the Dutch Investigation Commission. No Ukrainian separatists, who consist mainly of some rural hooligan gang, can have any knowledge of firing these Buk missiles belonging to the state armies, which proves that the pro-Western-minded and pro-EU-minded terrorist government of Ukraine is behind this shooting down of MH17, and since the pro-Russian separatists are so strongly linked to the shooting down of flight MH17, it means that these separatists are under the full control of the Ukrainian government, to whom it has outsourced the responsibilities arising from the bombing of these airliners and its own country, so that the Ukrainian government does not look so terrorist when it has shifted all the responsibilities for its own crimes onto the shoulders of some vague separatist group that has nothing to do with these accidents and the bombings of Ukraine. Pro-Russian separatists that are just an effective instrument of the Ukrainian government in evading responsibilities and creating chaos into citizens of Ukraine. pro-Russian separatists that are only subcontractors of Ukraine terrorist government that has outsourced its own crimes and their liabilities to this gangbang of hooligans, in business terms.